He loves it. He loves the crucible, and when he won his World Championship, I think he had the best year of his life. I think it was just fantastic.
He looks nice and relaxed, and the one thing that he did against Ronnie O'Sullivan, which perhaps he hasn't done entirely against Jack, is that he said he was going to enjoy himself.
Yeah.
Perhaps not quite so much.
No, maybe not, because he hasn't played the way he's playing, but he's favourite in this match. He was underdog in that last one. I think if he sort of releases the shackles, plays his game, then we're going to see the big breaks.
And for Jack, just to keep doing what he's been doing?
Keep doing what he's doing. He's loving every minute of it as well, and playing beautiful snooker, and just keep doing what you're doing, Jack.
All right, well, we are getting ready for session 3 of this other semi-final between these two terrific players who've been dazzling so far at this year's World Championship, Jack Jones and Stuart Bingham. Over we go to our MC, Rob Walker.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the day 2 players move within 1 win of the ultimate title on the ultimate stage. This is about nerve. This is about skill. This is about belief under the most immense pressure. On days like these, there is nowhere quite like the Crucible. Welcome to semi-final Saturday at the Kazoo World Snooker Championship. Please welcome a young Welshman who clearly thrives on the big stage. Mentally, he has been an absolute animal in this match. 3 in a row from 3-0 down, 3 in a row from 6-4 down. He will absolutely believe that today he can become the 6th player from his country to make it to a world final. Always calm, always composed, the silent assassin, Jack Jones. And his opponent, on the 9th anniversary of his epic title in 15, this break-building giant is desperate to take a step closer to another huge final. Without doubt, he has recaptured his very best form over this fortnight, and he will be raring to go this morning. The pride of Essex, Stuart Ball Run Bingham.
So after 2 sessions, there's been nothing to separate these 2 players. Will one of them break free and establish an advantage? If they do, Sean Murphy and Dennis Taylor will tell us. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, Rishi. Good morning, everyone. And great to be in the Crucible Theatre early in the morning. Smiles all around the theatre. Not only players, but everyone that's here. And a good morning to everyone watching at home. This is going to be a wonderful session of snooker, I feel. And it's nice to be sitting next to the former world champion, Sean, the magician Murphy. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, everybody. These 2 have served up some great frames so far. What have they got? One of the biggest days of their life.
I'll tell you one thing, Stuart will be looking to start the way he started the first session. He'd the first 2 frames, breaks of 76 and 94. And then the second session, he started with breaks of 79 and 107. He'll be looking for a start like that in this 3rd session. But the man at the table will have other ideas. He has had at least 5 frame-winning breaks. No century break, but you can win frames with 1 visit. And there's I was going to say, I thought he got a nice little flick there, but I think, is there just enough room to pass the black and cut that in? It's a good guide. Much too thin, but he's been very lucky. Once he hit it thin and went into the pack, he would have feared the worst, but that's a pretty good result in the end. That was pretty good judgment. Got the white tight on that ball cushion. Makes the safety just a little bit more difficult. Caught it well though. Doesn't want to hit the green. Always annoying when you catch a ball colour. And look at this. That looks a bit tight. Just looking to see if he's got another one there and can avoid canning into the reds. Played it well. I think throughout this championship, Stuart Bingham and Karen Wilson, with that type of shot, Sean, they're so good at it.
Well, they're pretty good at most shots, aren't they? But yeah, that mid-distance shot to nothing has been a hallmark of both of their games. And what a match that would be if they got through to the final. We're a long way from there just yet. Bit of early morning trouble for Jack Jones.
See, the one that's nearest the cushion there, he'd love to be able to lay on that, but the angle's not there to do that. Well, he feels he could. He just got so close to the middle pocket, but he's left one. I mean, he got the line. If he had hit it a little harder, he would have left it safe, but the fact he's come up short, a little shake of the head tells you that, you know, Stuart's got a very good chance here. And look at the reds.
One.
Looks like the pink spot's occupied, so referee Marcel Eckhart replacing it on the highest available, which is the black spot this time. And that suits Stuart. In an ideal world, he'll keep that red on the pink spot for as long as possible.
8. $14. 15.
One of the traits of players who work with Chris Henry, as Stuart Bingham does,
21.
As Chris likes to get his players to play on instinct, play at pace, don't second guess yourself. Stuart's just run out of position slightly there, hence the stop in play, but in general his pace of play has been excellent.
$22.
Sean said he would have liked to have left the red that's on the pink spot, but let's see where the pink goes, and
25.
I think that red's still sitting on the pink spot, so it's getting a little bit more difficult now, but as you see, the red is covering the pink spot, so those two that are above this red that he's taking are not really
31.
available. So it's starting to get a little bit more complicated.
$32.
Play for the one that's on the pink spot this time. And the four that are together, they're okay. There's a couple of them available. A decent chance. Someone just coughing right on his backswing there. But he's pretty focused.
38.
Didn't even hear it.
He looks incredibly focused to me, and I think this session is where we're going to see the immense experience of Stuart Bingham, particularly here at the Crucible, come to the fore. We've spoken a lot about Jack Jones and how inexperienced he is at this level. As a former winner, someone who knows the course and distance of this venue, I think Stuart Bingham's going to bring all that to the fore today.
39.
Oh, lovely shot round for the pink. A smidge of left-hand side and perfectly played as we look at Stuart Bingham's Crucible record. 18 appearances, debut way back in 2000. 52 centuries here 45. At the Crucible. Highest of 145 and of course champion in 15.
$46.
Gone wrong slightly. Have to take the blue because the pink's going to be very awkward. So a little bit of a test, this blue up into the corner. Long way off.
Stuart Bingham, 46.
Just finished awkward. Played for the pink, but he was hampered and had to take the blue. 51 points in front, so there's plenty there for Jack to make a comeback here. Been knocking a lot of that type of shot in, but it's the first frame in this session. So another chance for Stuart to seal this opening frame.
One.
The two reds that I mentioned earlier, they're available into the right corner pocket, and he's got the one to the right of the black, so he's got a couple of options there. the two reds that are safe. He doesn't have to worry about those, but he was looking at playing a cannon on to the one to the left of the black, but he won't need those difficult reds. And that's why he didn't play the cannon, but he's hampered himself for the one to the right of the black.
7.
The two will go into the right corner, at least one of them will go. He can just cue past the red. It's a bit of a distraction though.
Eight.
So 59 in front, possible 59 on the table. Just the pink needed.
Stuart
Ah,
Bingham.
this is a very good shot. He's
14.
going to pull up.
Well, that choice of shot tells a story of all of its own. Jack Jones already needs 2 snookers. I think on another day Stuart might have played the double there, but by playing safe, that sends a message. I'm going to give you nothing.
At the moment, it's 2 snookers that Jack needs. Mind you, he needed 3 snookers yesterday and almost got it back. Now that'll be the end of the frame now. In fact, he looks over to Sean and concedes the frame. So it's just the start that Stuart Bingham was looking for. It was that earlier break of 46 that paved the way to the frame, and he now leads by 9 frames to 8.
Fine. So maybe the sort of nerves might kick in. They have to at some stage, you
The
know.
18th frame. Stuart Bingham to break.
Well, there's an old saying, when you break off, whatever you do, don't hit the blue, but he hasn't left anything. Just a potential shot to nothing, but that's a poor break off from Stuart. Go close to potting this one. There's one red out to the left of the pink and bunch. It'll be some shot to pot the blue and get on that. Do you know, Stuart, I think, Sean, that this fella is one of the best I've seen potting balls along the cushions.
6.
He's missed very few of them.
Oh, he's been so impressive, hasn't he? All the way through this tournament, all aspects of his game. But I have to say, I agree with
Jack
Ken.
Jones. 6.
I think he looks a bit edgy this morning. As good as the blue was, that was a mile away. And it's the biggest day of Jack Jones's snooker life. It's understandable that he'd be nervous. Maybe they're both a little bit nervous. It is a massive day. Stuart just had a look there into the corner of the room. I'm not sure if he was distracted by something. Has a look there, yeah, maybe something just put him off in his eye line. So an immediate chance for Jack Jones to redeem himself after that easy miss.
1.
Well, you could see from that last shot that the red to the left of the pack and at the back is available in a couple of shots' time.
9.
Got the other loose red, but the one to the left of the 3 behind the pack is potable.
Fourteen.
Yeah, you can play for that red this time. And he's finished low, but that's not all bad because he can open the pack with this. He's just got to be careful that he doesn't lose the cue ball. He can either push the white through the pack or screw it back. So it's a key early shot in this second frame of this third session. Doesn't want the white on the cushion. And he certainly doesn't want it in the middle of the reds there. Didn't get the fizz, the spin on it that was required.
Yeah, you can just see here the cue ball actually wants to come out this side of the cluster there. He would have been better playing that with topspin. That was its natural path.
Foul and a miss. Jack Jones 23, Stuart Bingham 7.
I just wonder if Stuart will be interested in here and having a go at this long red by the yellow. If the table was the other way round, it's the type of shot he'd fancy. His dilemma here is that if he puts Jack Jones in, Jack will probably hit the black.
No problem.
Well, he has decided to have it replaced. Jack will probably hit the black this time. .76 points Jack Jones has given away in penalties in this match so far.
Just is looking, Jack. Yeah, we can try to check it whether we can see a difference. Definitely
important this is in the right place. It makes the coming off the cushion that little bit easier. If it's in the wrong place, that's where they were.
Yeah, if you see,
yeah, it's quite easy to hit the black, but he wants to hit it on the left side as we look at it.
Yeah. Stuart, thanks.
So if he hits it full ball, he may leave a pot on. Surely he hasn't missed it the other side. Well, he's too short. And these could be costly because each foul is given 7 points to his opponent. See the 2 reds to the left of the white. I think one of them is available if he just lays onto the black full ball.
Sure. No problem. Have another look, please.
this right-hand red may be available into the middle pocket. If he plays a little cannon off the other red, he could finish on the black here. Got to be a bit careful if he doesn't knock the red in. That the one he cannons, he doesn't leave it on. No, I don't think he fancies that shot into the middle pocket. Not the correct angle. What's he done here? Goodness gracious me. That probably is the worst safety shot that Stuart Bingham has ever played. With that red up there, how has he left this short? He hangs his head.
One.
Yeah, it'll frustrate Stuart that because he's got all the experience and he knows how important mistakes can be at this stage. That was elementary to leave the cue ball there. You don't mind if the mistake you make is complicated.
Six. Seven.
Now I think this is the last of the
14.
open reds. Don't think any of the others pot, so it's all about what angle he leaves here on the black and how he chooses to split the reds.
15.
Looking for that low position, and he'll just be looking to screw into the cluster here and plough the cue ball through. Don't really know where they're going to finish. Well, he struck them nicely. How's his luck? Anxious looks here from Jack Jones. Is he on anything?
He played it well. You could see he got the fizz on the white. It spun back, but he's faced with a tricky one into the left middle pocket. But he can get back for the black using the other red there. Oh, look where the red has gone. Can you believe it? The red has somehow sneaked up there and covered the black. That's unlucky, Sean.
Well, it does look unlucky, but he overhit it, didn't he? You know, the cue ball's gone on a good foot longer than he meant to. Had he have not hit that as hard, the red wouldn't have finished next to the black. And it is just these little fine margins at this stage that are going to make the difference. Both players had chances here in this frame. Let the other off the hook now. 38 to the good here, Jack Jones. He can pop this pink, which is what he's looking at. He doesn't want to leave the table.
That's a wonderful pressure pop there from Jack Jones. And he got a favourable kiss
29.
on the brown, as you can see here. Still needs another good pot, though. He's got to get up for the blue. Where's that red going? What a fluke this is.
30.
Wow. That's an amazing fluke.
Jack might have to buy Stuart's nickname off him at this rate. That was incredible.
He's just flexing his right arm there, which is an indication that he's just a little bit tight. He's just trying to loosen up. You could see him do that there. So, quite understandable that there's a little bit of tension there early on in this session.
Yeah, all about putting a colour safe here and which colour
Green
you
ball.
choose. Check the scoreboard, which colour will be pertinent to the frame.
Jack Jones. 30.
Stuart comes back to the table, trailing by 45. Still plenty of points left. The red on the right-hand side of the table's causing a few problems. If that wasn't there, Stuart would have already tried to pop this red into the left corner. He might be trying to clip it into the bottom right corner. Needs to avoid the red on the left side. In the end, I think he just played the safety. And he's trying to tempt Jack Jones into this long red.
Got to avoid the black and reds. He doesn't want to bring them into play. And he has done. I can't believe he's played that shot like that. You know, he's got a 45-point advantage. The black was tied up. He could have took the other red and played it, the one on the pink spot.
Well, if he gets anywhere near the pots, he wouldn't have cannoned those reds and black. He missed that by inches. We said he didn't look like he'd settled, and despite that little contribution earlier in this frame, he still looks like he hasn't settled. Stuart Bingham now has an opportunity here to steal this frame. It's going to take some effort with that red and green on the cushion, but it's a chance he shouldn't have had. And what a body blow this would be early in this session.
Nine.
Yeah, I thought he could have took the red near the pink spot and come around the back of the one here that he tried to pot. But it all went wrong for him there. And that red that's near the middle pocket is the one that might come to his rescue.
16.
But Jack knows only too well that Stuart can bring it into play.
17.
Meanwhile, the other red is not a gimme, as you can see there.
$24.
Just had a quick glance at the scoreboard, but there's no problem there. Plenty of points. It's this one here, whether he decides to play for black or blue to try and get an angle to bring the difficult last red into play, but this is not a gimme. He might be able to do it from the yellow. Depends. No, I think he's gone too far. So the only way he can get that difficult red now would be to take the pink and leave a back double. Which is what he's done. He's going to take the double on here. He'll be on the black if it goes in.
31.
It's there.
32.
Wow, he's on the pink, is he? No. put everything into the double and just lost the cue ball a little bit.
He's desperately looking at the brown or yellow, wanting to continue the break. He has the angle on the yellow to pot the yellow, move the green and be on the yellow again, but that's a bit adventurous. He may choose to bring the green into play now. Tactical shot, double the green across the table, cue ball back down behind the black. That looks favourite to me.
Stuart Bingham, 32.
Absolutely packed house here at the Crucible this morning. What a fantastic sight that is. And if this yellow pulls up, he's going to have Stuart snookered behind brown and blue, but I think the yellow has just run on. One good piece of cueing. Said his long game wasn't great yesterday. Where's this yellow going to finish? It cuts to the middle, but it's very, very thin. It's a natural for the cue ball to come back round for the green. Big moments here.
He'd love to be able to hold it in that circle or somewhere near the circle if he pots this. He's cannoned the brown, and that spoiled it somewhat, but he might still have a pot. Without the cannon, he would have got round near the circle there, but I think he can still cut this in. This is always the key when you're clearing up brown to blue.
Nine.
That's the frame safe. He's done well here, Sean.
Yeah, he has. Won't fill him with loads of confidence because he's kind of limped over the line here in this frame, but he'd be delighted. For a moment he would have thought Stuart was coming back for that counter clearance.
14.
The frame is in the back now, and he'll breathe a bit easier.
Jack Jones, 14, and the frame.
And there's the nut from Stuart Bingham. Won't be too bothered about the pink. No fireworks from Jack Jones just yet, but he's holding his own, and it's as they were. 9 frames apiece.
It's his first time playing in the one-table setup. You know, there's all sorts of little factors and little sort of battles going on within a big battle.
Thank you. Settle down, please. The 19th frame. Jack Jones to break.
Pretty good length with the break-off shot. You can see the red left of the blue. Might be able to have a go and get on the black and not leave anything. Only the red is attempting. Did try the pot there, but just mishit it slightly. What a shame that red has come back across and tied the black up. No problem with the safety, as you can see from that picture. Got such a good all-round game, Jack Jones. No problem here with the escape. And then he goes and hits the pink.
Foul and a miss. Jack Jones, 6.
Just a bad misjudgment.
Yeah. Can we just check the pink, please, Tatjana? I think it went into the pocket. Just want to make sure.
Looks spot on. Just white is spot on. Not sure about the pink.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe just nudged
Jack.
one or two of the reds slightly, but it's not going to make a great deal of difference here. He'll get it right this time.
Got it.
Well, that's a bit awkward to come down the right side of the table. You can't see the two to the right, so this will have to be a thin one. That definitely was a thin one. Just gone a little bit awkward with the black and pink tied up at the moment. The target with the safety shot is the green and brown now.
I think I need to recheck that.
Well, I've never seen this before. I've never seen one of our referees go to VAR.
Fine, yeah.
It's pink first, for sure.
Foul and a miss.
I didn't know we could do that, Dennis.
Yep. Step back. Please, Tatjana.
There's always a first for everything, Sean, isn't there? Top class referee, Marcel Eghard. Just now making sure he gets them back into the correct spot.
Yeah. Yep. Fine.
Doesn't have to play the same shot again. You see, he got the old DDK, the dreaded double kiss there. That's why he didn't want to play that red. So difficult to avoid the double kiss. But not straightforward. There's a gap here that Stuart can get the cue ball through, but you've got to make sure you pot the red.
That's 14 out of 14 for Stuart Bingham with the rest. Keeps his 100% success intact. Very solid part of his game, as are all parts, in fairness. Not immediately obvious where the next red's coming from. You feel there might have to be a cannon of some kind. The red closest to this cushion pots into the same pocket as the black, if he could find his way through.
Well, he did find his way through with the previous shot when he went between the two reds to leave the black. Just lost the white a little bit. Needs a bit of an angle on the red that Sean suggested, and he's got an angle, and the black is available
8
into the opposite corner pocket. Needs good cueing, this one though. Bit of top spin. There you can see he's applying that. Played it well. Excellent shot. Still got to be very precise, but not a problem here. I say not a problem. He's going to have to take the long red up into the corner past the green.
16.
If he cuts the one back into the right corner, going right into the middle of the reds, which might not be a bad thing. This is a very key shot. Keep your eye on the cue ball. Played
17.
it well. He really is a wonderful break builder, Stuart. And look how he developed the red there. He'll have to go up for the blue this time, but now a terrific chance
24.
to possibly get a frame-winning break here.
$25.
Perfectly judged. onto the blue there. Not as easy as Stuart made that shot look. Stunned down the table. A choice of 3 reds.
30. $31.
Real good shot choice there. Never misses a trick, Stuart, in terms of break building. Could have played the easier red and saved that one till later, but knew he was going to bring 2 or 3 more reds into play. And always plays the right shot when break building. The miss black off the spot.
Stuart Bingham.
Oh, and look,
31.
the cue ball is hidden behind that red. Time for a bit of good fortune himself here. Absolutely elementary black off the spot. And he's got away with one there, I think, Dennis, has he?
It's just that one that might cut back through the gap, the 2 from the pink there. And he'll also. There you can see it, just enough room. Well played.
Well, what a turning point this could be. Stuart was set fair there, popped the black, and he would have been away. And he's gifted this chance to Jack Jones.
Black's somewhat out of commission at
6.
the moment. But, as I say, he did free the pink when he potted that red, and it's there whenever he wants it. Wouldn't be a bad play to get on it now and get it back on the spot.
$7.
Well, he's staying on the blue, which is okay as long as he gets the correct side of the blue. He could win the frame with just reds and blues.
$12.
See, now he's looking at the angle on the pink there, so doesn't have to play for the pink, but it would help with it back on its spot. So he'll have thought about it, and let's see if he decides to play for it or stay on the blue. No,
13.
gone for the pink. And just one more fairly straightforward positional shot, and it'll be a great chance.
$19. $20.
And this is all going to be about that red that's next to the black. See Stuart in his corner looking at the scoreboard, trying to do the maths. He's already worked out that this frame hinges on that red. It doesn't matter what Jack Jones does here, what colours he takes with these reds. He knows he's coming back to the table unless Jack can bring
26.
that red into play. He's going to need that to win the frame.
$27.
When we talk about composure, it'll be very interesting to see if Jack Jones is aware yet that he needs that red by the black to win this frame here at this visit. Sure he does.
33.
And if he does, how and when does he choose to move it? He's just looked at the scoreboard there, realises he's 2 in front. The 4 loose reds equal 32, but he can't play the black, so it's 32 minus 4 gives him another 28. That'll put him 30 ahead by the time he gets to the last red. How and when does he move it?
$34.
He's got a terrific technique, Jack Jones, and it's
40.
stood him in good stead throughout this year's World Championship. Very solid stance and cue action, and it's holding up under pressure. You don't get any more pressure than playing the Crucible Theatre in the semi-final of a World Championship.
$41.
Did well there, because that was awkward, and he's perfectly on the blue.
Just wondering, Dennis, if he'll take a chance here. He could soft screw stun the cue ball down past the pink and red with left-hand side and bring it into that red that's on the cushion. You'd think he'd be on one of the 2 loose reds should it go wrong. No, playing for the loose red, that's fine. Maybe he's thinking, well, I'll take these 2 loose reds, take the points and play a good safety off the last red. That's fine as well.
47.
Well, there's 2 circles I've put up. If he could get anywhere near, he'd leave that loose red into the middle pocket or corner pocket. But he might even decide to try and cannon that difficult red out. He's got a couple of options available here. He's gone to move it. Is it hard enough? Just come up a bit short.
53.
Yeah, he left this all a bit too late for me. In my opinion, he should have been searching to move that red when he had 4 or 5 loose reds on the table to play for. Problem is, you leave it till last minute, it doesn't work out. Now the break's over. Very commanding position, of course, 22 points to the good, 43 remaining, but Stuart Bingham, one of the best tactical players in the game, doesn't lose many fights on the reds and colours.
Jack Jones, 53.
Well, Jack's had a look at that red. That would be very difficult to pass the black quickly. While he was focusing on the other red, he's back looking at it again. Well, what a pot this would be. Where's the red going to finish? He's played it as a safety shot. And it's okay. Clever shot, though. Oh, he's had a result there. I mean, it was a good shot that he played. He played to send the red up and down, but once the red hit the green, he could have left it on, but as you can see, couldn't have finished much better.
Yeah, and this is the problem with playing the shots in the wrong sequence, as Jack Jones did when he was in on that break of 53. It all looked okay, and the balls keep going in, but he's led himself, he's driven himself down this cul-de-sac by leaving that red till last to move from the cushion. He's brought this tactical battle onto himself.
Well, Jack could do with a bit of good fortune here. When he hits this red, can he get it safe?
Foul and a miss. Stuart Bingham, 6. Yeah.
He put everything into trying to hit the red on the thin side to get back up the table. I mean, it's easy to escape from, but he wanted a thin cut on it when he hits the cushion to put a distance between the cue ball and the reds. It's a bit of a problem for him to judge this. That's not far away there.
I actually fancy him to get this right. He got very, very close to it the first time round. If he just skims the red on the left side as we look off one cushion, it'll come naturally towards this side cushion.
Half the ball closer to the cushion, and then quarter of the ball towards you.
That looks absolutely spot on. As I say, I fancy him to get this right this time. Just wants to take the paintwork off the red on the way back, and it'll clip it to this side cushion for safety. Yeah, that's exactly as played. Good shot.
Yeah, it was definitely worth giving the penalty points away to make sure that he got it correct the second time. It still needed very good cueing, but he did exactly as Sean mentioned there. Don't think this red passes the pink. He'd be playing a safety shot, but he had a quick glance at the red. It's, as you can clearly see, not available.
Put that circle up there in the top right hand corner of the table behind the green. That's where Stuart would love to get the cue ball. He comes off the left hand side of the red, touch of left hand side. The cue ball will swing up between pink and blue and into that area. He's just wondering about where the red's going to finish. If he doesn't feel he can control the red, he'll play something else.
You didn't see that one, Sean, did you? That safety shot. He's got away with this. Miss-hit that completely. Is it there?
One.
It is. A bit of a John Higgins special there, but he knew he wasn't leaving a great deal. 17 the difference. He's still going to need that difficult red. He could get the long rest out, roll the black in, but not a lot of value in that. Get a colour
Green
safe.
He just needs to be careful here. Don't put a colour safe that you need. Don't understand that shot, Dennis.
Jack Jones 1.
17 points up. Depending on what colour Jack takes with the last red, should he get that far, he's going to need the green himself. I think he's just realised that. That's a mistake.
Well, it's 17 the difference, so if Jack was to pop the red and pink, he would only need the yellow, so maybe he did get it right there, Jack. Can he get himself back into the lead?
Don't think the angle's there for the cocked hat double into the right middle pocket, stun the cue ball where the red is for the black. I think the pink's in the way on the way around the house. He wants to play off the cushion first and knock the red round the table for safety as if it was a black ball game, but there's a lot of traffic to get round.
Yeah, that's the cocked hat shot. If you're playing an exhibition, you'd send that red around the angles into the middle, but very risky.
You can see all those years of experience now etched into Stuart's face as he tries to work out what the correct shot is here. Over a minute's thinking time on this one. He knows how important this is. Well, he's played the cocked hat. Or maybe he played to move the green, and if he did, that's a very clever shot. He's unlucky that it sent the green from one cushion to another. Played to move the green there, I feel. One cushion to another, a bit unfortunate.
There's a long way off that one. Where's the red going to finish? Doesn't want to hit the brown. Oh, it will cut. It's a thin one, but every chance he could finish on the pink here.
One.
In fact, he could hold for the blue, which was even better. But it's that green ball that's going to be key. The one that he tried to knock into play and sent onto the ball cushion. But the Browns in a much better position
6.
to get to it from the green. Better there than sitting on its spot.
And of course he doesn't need the black.
8.
Oh, but he's really hit that badly. I can't believe he's played to move the green. I'm sure he just played to stun in behind it. He really didn't spin that one properly. Didn't play to move that. That was just a bad strike. What an opportunity he's let go here.
Got to be careful he doesn't push this. He's so close to the green if he tries to play it with any pace. Did well with this one.
Stuart Bingham.
Because he could have pushed that. That was good cueing.
Thanks.
Just letting the referee have a look. There's not much of the green sticking out there, is there? Will he cannon the black? That's the question. If he does hit it thin.
Foul and a miss. Stuart Bingham 4.
Unbelievable. That's 99 points that Jack Jones has given away in fouls in this semi-final. Stuart's going to have a go at this because he'll automatically finish on the brown. Just overcut it slightly.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it, to think that pretty much 10% of all of Stuart's total points in this match, which is just over 1,000, 10% of that has come in penalty points from Jack Jones. How much difference will that make over the course of a match like this? But that's a good shot if he's got the snooker.
I mean, there have been so many frame-winning breaks in this match, but I'll tell you what, you can't beat a bit of tension like this. Getting towards the end of a frame, tactical play, see who's going to win the safety battle. Sometimes these frames are just fascinating to watch.
I always say in situations like this, when it's down to colours, you play this like a black ball fight. You'd think whoever pots the green will win the frame. Of course, you know a bit about black ball games here, Dennis.
He could have put himself in a spot of bother here. Every chance that Jack can get back behind the brown. He's just underdone it. That's just a little bit of tension when you don't push the cue through as you intended. Quite understandable at this stage.
I just wonder whether Stuart will be tempted into this green. It's very difficult, but you would think he only needs to pot it. and the frame would be at his mercy. Would you be willing to risk everything on this type of pot? Coming up for 37 minutes, this frame. He desperately wants to go for the green. He probably fancies getting it.
Make your mind up time for this man in your screens. Wonderful potter, and the way he's shaping up tells me he's going to have a go at it. Oh, it's going over the pocket. He knew he had to get that if he went for it. This time, the green hasn't ran safe. Brown and blue needed.
Seven.
Just having a little chat to himself. That's the frame. And this Welshman is not going away.
18.
And he gets himself into the lead. It's 10-9 to Jack Jones.
Is the longer the match goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw an incident there where Jack Jones put the green safe where he possibly could have needed that had the frame gone on. Sean pointed it out, even though maybe a red and a pink and a yellow would have been enough, but the odds of that would have been a lot slimmer. So you've got to, you know, just stay in the moment.
Take your seats, please.
It's very important.
Thank you. Frame 20. Stuart Bingham to break.
Well, there's the last frame before the interval. For the first time, is Jack Jones going to open up a two-frame advantage for himself here?
One.
What a fantastic shot that is. Cued this beautifully. I keep waiting, Dennis, for Jack to show some signs of nerves and realisation of what he's achieving here this week, but he just seems so unflappable and confident in his own game. It's unnerving as your opponent, isn't it, sat in the chair?
When we talk about Sheffield steel, this fella is certainly showing some South Wales steel, that's for sure. Just let that run a bit further than he wanted to be straighter on this. This means he's got to control that cue ball to get through. See, he can't just run through and cannon the red and leave the pink, so it's finished a little awkward, all because he just overdone that slightly.
Nine.
Under the circumstances, he controlled that very well. He's got another tricky little one to negotiate, and he's going to need the spider, which doesn't help the situation.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult using the spider. It looks like he's going to try to reach it with his extension first. leave the spider as a last resort. But any time the cue is inverted, any time you're striking down on that cue ball, any use of side spin is magnified. So even though you're bridging over the red, he's trying to keep the cue as flat as possible here to minimise that. That's why he's using the extension and not the spider. Didn't get the cannon to the first red right. As we see here, he played to hit that red fuller and be on the red at the base of the pack. This red to the bottom left corner pots, but it's very thin.
How unfortunate was that?
Jack Jones,
Awkward
16,
bridging.
Stuart Bingham.
It was so
4.
thin. And have a look. Great shot. How unlucky was that to go in off the blue? He hasn't left anything, but very unfortunate there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just making sure it's not a free ball there. You've got to hit the reds on both sides, but next to the green he could do that. Next to the yellow he could do that, so.
He's got a chance here to play like a break-off style safety shot, but having put the cue ball next to the yellow, maybe he's thinking of something different. Just think the target of green and blue is so big. You could take the risk of spreading those reds open, bringing some threat into the game, and getting a good cue ball. He might be playing the same shot. Yeah, that's what he has played. He caught that red a hair too thin. And that's why I don't think he's got the cover behind the blue, but it was the right shot for me.
Just got to be a little bit careful when you're playing these safety shots that you don't push a red towards a corner pocket. It's a similar target for Stuart Bingham again here. This looks better. Might be behind the blue. Played it well. Oh, is it just a little bit sticking out there? I think he can just catch the edge of that red.
Stuart on the march here, looking for that red that's above him to the right, the black. It pots. And if he gets close to the pot, the cue ball will come back towards green and blue. I think this frame's a bigger frame for Stuart Bingham than Jack Jones. Okay, we're miles from the line in this match. The target of 17, of course, but wouldn't want to trail by 2 going into the interval. Whereas Jack Jones, even if he were to lose this frame, he'd probably be happy enough with that. Every frame here, as we get closer to the line, is new territory for Jack Jones. It's going to be fascinating to see how this unfolds.
playing safety, but what did happen with that shot knocked the black safe. The pinks out of commission at the moment.
Great opportunity here for Jack Jones to play the figure of 8 safety shot. Potentially off the red furthest left on the table, back in behind green and blue. Just needs to be careful not to knock a red over a pocket.
Might be a 3-ball plant when he plays the safety shot. That's what he looked at. And the reds are all opening up. Needs the brown to cover that one that's headed towards the left corner, and it has. So not straightforward now for Jack Jones to play a telling safety. He's looking up at this end of the table to see if he can play a containing safety and leave the white up near the corner pocket here, and everything would be covered into the left corner. That might be his only choice here.
Needs to be careful though, Dennis, doesn't he? Because he leaves the cue ball on the black cushion. Stuart will be able to pop the red left of the black and get position on the black, so needs to be careful. Doesn't want this cue ball tight on the cushion. Well, that's an interesting shot choice for me there, because he guaranteed to leave Stuart this red.
Yeah, and he can nudge the red next to it. He's marched around the table, Stuart. He's seen that shot straight away. If he puts this and nudges the other red, he's on the black.
One.
And there you go. It was as if Jack thought, well, I'll leave him a tempter, but you can see he's annoyed with himself now. He could have picked a better shot out. Well, everything was tied up a couple of shots ago. All of a sudden, everything's potable.
8. Nine.
It's just a wonderful place to play when you're down to the one table here. No distractions.
16.
Crowd are perfectly quiet on the shot. It's just hard to describe what it's like out there when you're down to the one table. There's nothing better.
17.
Can you believe it?
Stuart Bingham,
It's the
17.
second black he's missed off the spot. Missed one on the last frame. It was just as easy as that. And how costly is that going to be? You can't believe he's missed that. That's just a tiny little lapse in concentration. He was thinking about the cue ball. have you done, Jack?
1.
Well, I think it's getting hot out there.
Yeah, it's a bit nervy, isn't it? Players both realising the enormity of the situation. Jack would have come to the table there knowing he had a great opportunity to really hurt Stuart Bingham going into the interval.
Oh, what a shot he's taking on here. No, he can't see enough of that, surely, to pot it. Can he? He could, and he did. What a shot after the disappointment of not
7.
being on the black, to get down and knock that in as if it was over the pocket. 10 out of 10 for that.
Eight.
Well, I'm sure Stuart will have already started his half-time team talk in his own head. He'll expect to lose the frame from this position. He'll now start thinking, well, OK, I'm going to be 2 down, 4 more to go after the interval. Start mentally preparing himself for those last 4 frames now.
I mean, they're sitting perfectly, but under this sort of pressure, we know what can happen,
15.
as we've seen with Stuart missing his second black off the spot. So Jack Jones steadying himself. He won't want to be making a careless mistake.
$16. $23. 24.
Would have liked that cue ball another ball's width up the table to play for red under the pink. Cannon to the pink here might be better. Can hit that slightly crisper. Played the delicate one for that red anyway. He's okay. And I just wonder, Dennis, you know, we talk about experience, and at this level Jack's never been here, but the fact he's not done this before might work in his advantage in a backwards kind of way, because having never been to the final,
32.
he doesn't know what he's missing. Stuart, on the other hand, knows exactly how special it is, and maybe might be guilty of trying a bit too hard, making it too important.
39. $40.
And there's Jack's dad on the right there, charming gentleman, chatting to him yesterday, day before, up in the Champions Lounge. And Jack's got a lot of family, but they haven't all come up. His dad was saying they're just going to focus and concentrate and let Jack get on with playing in his first semi-final. And Bit of a stretch, this one here. .43 in front. Quick glance at the scoreboard, and he knows the pink will secure a 2-frame advantage for him going to the mid-session interval. So he's going to win this little mini session 3 frames to 1. Well, he would have liked to have seen that red disappear. There's a couple of snookers needed, but well, Jack himself needed 3 snookers yesterday and nearly pulled it off. So he'll be a little disappointed with missing that red.
How often do we see this? We were chatting about it in studio yesterday. It's so often the ball after frame ball that's the one you need to get.
I think Stuart's still thinking about the black he missed off the spot, so he'll have to just have a chat in the dressing room and regroup, because he's missed 2 like that. That's cost him both frames, you'd have to say. That's in. 1.
Seven. 8.
Well, every credit to this very talented Welshman. What a performance in this 3rd session.
$11. 13. 16.
That solid technique is standing him in good stead here.
20.
As the blue flies around the table, it doesn't matter. Stuart Bingham has got something to think about and have a chat with his coach, Chris Henry. But Jack Jones has won the mini session 3-1, and he now leads frames. It's 11-9.
Clearly Wilson in the box seat, just 3 frames away. I'm sure Gilbert will look back with some regret on that miss yellow when he was poised to level the match at 10 frames all. And of course they will be back at just after 2:30. Rachel and the team here with the build-up from 2:15. Stuart Bingham and Jack Jones on the cusp of returning for the second half of this penultimate session. And I think Bingham probably needed that little respite. He needs to find the scoring touch, which we've seen from him throughout his career, which has been absent since the 10th frame of this match.
Thank you. Just take your seats now, please.
Jack Jones, who was 3-0 behind at the start of this match and really struggling
21st frame.
in his first foray to a world semi-final, now has the opportunity to move 3 clear.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't big enough to win this match for either player and get into a world final, of course, Bingham has won the Worlds before, World Championship, but it would also be a way back into the top 16 for whichever player won this. So it's a huge game. Jack Jones in the top 16 did not seem likely. Just before last year's World Championship, almost unthinkable. Anyway, he's not there yet. Because the cue ball and the red just came into contact a secondary time, and cue ball was meant to go down the table, but it was cut short by the red. So what has Bingham got left? Has he been able to regroup in that mid-session interval? Cue ball would have gone to safety had the red not hit it again.
He hasn't been without good chances. He's missed a couple of blacks off their spots, including the frame before the interval, Bingham, when he was well placed.
1.
You can't help feeling that one good break, one frame-winning break, could be transformative for Bingham. But he's got to make it happen. This is an early chance.
Well, he hit that pink full ball. He could hardly have achieved more than that, getting it squarely like that. And you see he's on a red.
Seven.
Strange old business, isn't it? Thinking about those qualifiers where he trailed Stuart Carrington 9-7, Bingham. Now, had he lost that match, who knows who'd have been playing Jack Jones here. Well, that's left short, and that is a sign of a bit of weakness from Bingham. He has shown that this morning, hasn't he, a little bit? I could say frailty, not the word, just tiredness, and this is, well, I mean, it's not even getting close to the pocket, is it?
One.
Aside from the 46 break that helped Bingham win the first frame of the day, nothing better than 32 since.
Seven.
Well, it wasn't a particularly good shot that he played. He is on a couple of reds, but the cue balls ran a bit loose there across the table. This has now become a missable shot, especially as it should have been a lot easier than it is. Well done.
8.
He's got a fine temperament, that's one thing you can say. You know, temperamentally, he's absolutely superb. And I don't think you can go the distance here without that. They'd be furious there, though. But without that bit of right-hand side, he probably
13.
wouldn't hit the yellow, but because he put the side on to keep the cue ball down the centre of the table, not drifting to a left cushion, but in that instance, down the left side, he'd have a red or two available. They're not good to hit the yellow there. Again, a recovery shot required, this one. Don't know if the cue ball's going to miss everything coming out of that area.
14.
Yeah, very, very good. chance to really assert himself now. Bingham has shown him that the cutting edge, has gone off his game for the time being. Now is the time for Jack Jones to exploit that. There is nothing in snooker like a 3-day semi-final of a World Championship. There's nothing to compare to it in any other form of snooker. All the twists and turns.
17.
But Jack Jones, of course, new to it all. Seems to be learning quickly.
Twenty-three. 24.
Some of that mental toughness that we've seen in evidence throughout this run to the semi-finals, I'm sure, was developed in what was a rocky start to his pro career. He was actually only 16 when he turned professional. Won the European Under-19 title, beat Anthony McGill, but then fell off the tour.
29.
They would have been difficult moments. He said in hindsight that perhaps he was professional too early and found the transition too tough, but got back
30.
on in 2016, won the European Amateur Championship. And although his season has been very quiet, he is a player who seems so well adapted to the unique demands of this event. And the way in which he's been able to overcome mistakes, block them out, not let them influence his next shot. We saw evidence of that earlier in this frame when he played a poor positional shot and
35.
then stroked in the red to keep the break going.
$36.
Yes, he's had to recover twice in this break, but now
41.
I mean, he looks to be in a position of great strength as far as this 21st frame is concerned.
42.
I mean, that pink that Bingham didn't hit hard enough at me, it was so far short of the middle pocket. I mean, normally when you see those not reached, they normally end up on the brink of going in. That one was a total mishit, wasn't it? And causing great pain sitting there. Because he's been had plenty of time to think about it, and it's not going to be a positive recollection, is it?
48.
Every snooker professional who's played at the Crucible will tell you that when you're playing well, when things are going well, it's the best place in the world to play. But the opposite is true when you're struggling. Even though there are nigh on 1,000 people in this theatre, it can feel a very lonely place when things aren't going your way. And a lot of time to dwell in your chair on what might have been when your opponent's spotting the balls.
55. 56.
At the moment, Jack Jones is handling the occasion the better. And this is the ball he needs to move 3 clear barring snookers.
Yeah, very good this. A couple of bumps in the road early in the break, but now he's
62.
asserting. And the next question is, can he now forge away in this match? Has he got that extra you need, like Karen Wilson found late last night was possible, getting a 6-2 session victory? This would be to lead 4-1 in the session.
And the first goal that he would have had, I'm sure, coming into this session has been achieved, because whatever happens now, he can't be worse than level going into the final session tonight. So that in itself eases the pressure a little. The pink stays out.
Jack Jones,
56 the difference, only 43 left. So it's 4 snookers as things stand for Bingham.
One.
Well, this could be end of frame here, because I think you're going to try and pot this, and if this doesn't go in, we're moving on to the next frame quite quickly, I think. Oh, he has gone in. Oh, what a shot. Yeah, well, that was...
8.
I'll try it and see what happens, or else I'll just walk off, start the next frame. Hugged the cushion, didn't it? That's the one good thing. Not very threatening, quite honestly.
8.
Jack will have... I think he's got a clear shot. You can see half of it. He can't actually pot it. But he was never really going to get the snooker there, playing it like that. A meaningful one. Well, that's... I'm not saying Bingham can win this frame, because I pretty much doubt he will, but pink and black down there, that's a nice target to get the cue ball in behind at some point. Well, credit to him for not just moving on towards the next frame, although had that black not gone in, he certainly would have conceded. I suppose if you don't try, then you're never going to find out. But we are at a critical stage, aren't we, of this match? Because on the assumption it's going to go 12-9, you know, the likelihood is Jones could, well, he could even pull away, and could see him with one foot in the final. But it feels like Bingham won't just give up the ghost quite so easily, despite these frames now slipping past him.
Well, it's a long road back with 3 4-point snookers needed, but you never know, because Jones got a couple of the 3 he needed yesterday before eventually Bingham got over the line. If he were to get them and win this frame, well, that would have turning point writ large all over it, but it's a big if.
Points.
Yeah, of course, it's actually 4 snookers, so the plight for Bingham is even greater, but he has got one here, and the red's out in the open, which makes Jones' assignment that little bit trickier.
Yeah, to hit the ball, certainly with the red there. I guess the only good news is that leaving a free ball would be very pretty much a big error if that somehow happened here. Not sure that line looked particularly straight. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those snookers. Yes, he's missed it,
Stuart Bingham, 4.
but he hasn't left a free ball. He could be in another one. I'd say that pink and black, where they are quite tempting. Yeah, good target. I mean, Jack Jones earlier on played on the last red, and he ended up pushing that pink in behind the black from where it was on the side cushion. Well, it's either a snooker or not the most difficult swerve. He might just be able to get through to it. Yeah, I think he can pot it, in fact.
Bingham immediately hanging his head because he underhit that by a margin. Obviously was looking to get behind pink and black. Knew as soon as he hit it, it wasn't going to make the journey. You can certainly see why Bingham is now playing on. He's got one of the 4 snookers he needs, but that pink and black is providing a very handy shield to lay a couple of potentially fiendish ones. Looking to avoid losing his 4th straight frame in this session. Bingham is just seeing a table that is conducive to getting snookers, I think. I don't
Know what he feels about the chances. Got one here. Sort of snooker you could end up going in off into a corner pocket from in hitting it. Well, not at that speed. Could be another one here.
Bingham is really struggling at the moment.
I think his problem is he's got no touch, has he? I mean, that shot compared to the earlier one, the pink that didn't reach, his touch seems to have kind of deserted him, which can happen. Especially here.
This frame appeared to be over 10 minutes ago, and the result still looks highly likely to be a Jones victory, and therefore a 4 straight frame. But until that red goes down, the play will continue. Yeah, Jones could have killed it off a little bit earlier, but it's still highly unlikely, you would think, that Bingham can get the now 3 snookers he needs.
Well, that's one way to counteract the Bingham attempt at snookers. Get him in one of your own. That's one of these shots here. I mean, if he potted this and went it off in the middle, it wouldn't matter that much because the red was down. Because the red will never come back up, and that would end the frame really. Can't do it though, can he? I think he was worried about the in-off. I understand that you can miss the pot and go in-off. It's absolutely no good to you. And once the pot goes in, it's the frame over really. The frame that won't lie down, will it?
1.
Surprising that. I don't suppose he had many choices, but little surprise he took that option.
It's
basically 3 snookers. Of course, you could get one, couple on the yellow, green and brown, and then maybe you would pot the blue and get another point penalty or something.
Stuart, Bingham. 8.
The body language from Bingham is very evident of the way he's feeling at the moment. Pretty down on things. He's just not producing the snooker that's got him to this semi-final right now. He's lost his ability to take the chances that he's had, and he's had a few. Had a good one at the start of this frame, of course. Left the pink well short to the right centre pocket. He's missed a couple of blacks as well when he was in. trying here to defy extremely heavy odds and give himself something to work with for the remainder of this session. As things stand, he's falling 3 behind for the first time, with 3 to come.
Yeah, no problem.
The frame that refuses to end. The average frame time for the match is just over 23 minutes. This one is now into its 28th, even though it appeared to be over getting on for 15 minutes ago.
It's another snookering opportunity. If you can get the yellow up somewhere near the blue ball, he could get the 5 points he needs to make it a fewer amount of snookers that's required. Well, he's got one there. That mightn't be that very easy to hit, actually. If he goes right side, the pink is kind of in the way to play with a lot of left-hand side to hit it, I think.
Foul. Stuart Bingham 4.
Well, Bingham persisting, and at the moment he's having some reward.
Yeah, and the only good news for Jack Jones there was the cue ball never went in to the pocket. Ball in hand would have been easy to get another snooker on the yellow. Well, this is getting interesting, isn't it? From the position where it didn't seem as if there was much hope of anything coming of this.
2 snookers now required. Again, Jones finds himself in one. He'll be getting just a little concerned now. At one point it seemed almost an impossible task for Bingham.
You know, the worry here is that now that there's 32 in it, even if he gets out of this, Bingham could put yellow, green and brown, then get another snooker on the blue, a 5.1 to tie, or even take it down to the pink and black, which he probably won't do, to get one to win. But the higher value fouls could make this interesting. If he misses this, of course, it's just one snooker anyway.
Say it again. Sorry. Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, Stuart Bingham needs to answer a call of nature. This frame looked as though it might be the quickest frame of the semi-final, and now is shaping up to be the longest. Bingham still needs 2 snookers, having initially needed 4. But when you got to go, got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if he could win it, it would be potentially a match change, a real plot twist, wouldn't it? 48 in it on 1 red. Most of the time players would concede, but if you remember what he did do, he actually potted. He was 56 behind on 2, and then the blackie potted down the cushion. It feels like a long time ago now. You know why? Because it was a long time ago. I think it was probably big odds against at the time.
Seems like since the interval, some of the earpieces are quite loud. If you use the chance right now to adjust them a bit, please. Thank you.
Well, Stuart Bingham's back. Jack Jones has yet to return. Bingham still needs 2 snookers.
Yeah, I noticed Bingham is not going to handle the cue of Jack Jones. I understand that. It's a strange thing, isn't it? Most of the time, the snooker cue that is yours, you would not touch, really, anybody else's. I remember Steve Davis was very against that. If you tried to pick up his cue, he would absolutely be furious. He wasn't allowed to go near his cue. The time standing still a little bit. Jack Jones is back.
This frame now into its 33rd minute. We've talked all tournament of the mental strength and fortitude and tenacity, choose your adjective, for Jack Jones, but if he were to lose this frame, all of those things, even for him, I think would be sorely tested. And there's still some jeopardy there. For his part, Jones very anxious to get control of this exchange on the yellow, not allow Bingham the opportunity to put him in more trouble. Jones hasn't potted a ball for nearly 28 minutes now.
Two.
.30 now the difference, 25 on.
Stuart Bingham. Two.
Another rueful grin from Bingham because A, it's not a snooker, and B, it is actually pottable.
I suppose if nothing else, Bingham has slowed things down a bit, and just as the match was starting to go really against him and in favour of Jack Jones, he might still win this frame, Jones, he probably will. But he might just stem the flow a little bit.
Three.
And there's a chance everyone will get all the frames in now, and I suppose right now Bingham wants out of the place, but he kind of did last night as well, I thought, towards the end, so he's got to find ways of breaking down Jack Jones, the player, and he's not able to do it.
Stuart Bingham. Three.
He's trying everything he can do. Ultimately, he isn't playing anywhere near as well as he was.
Feels a lifetime ago that Stuart Bingham left the pink woefully short into the right centre when he was first in. But Jack Jones, try as he might, just can't kill this frame off, and the longer that remains the case, the greater his concern that something might still go horribly wrong here.
Four.
So 23 now the difference, as Neil mentioned. The possibility now that Bingham can tie the frame with just the one snooker. Overhit that by a distance.
Four.
Pink's not much use to Bingham right now, tight as it is to the top rail.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be keen on rolling this over the pocket, actually, because then it is, believe it or not, one snooker to win after all this on the pink and black, which takes some getting, I suppose. But it's still probably not a good idea to make that possible. In fairness to Bingham, he's kept the frame alive to the point where all those snookers have been got. Now it is, as you're saying, just one. If you got it down to a respot, that would be a real twitchy one, wouldn't it?
I'm right down the line of that cue ball, and I don't think Jack Jones can get through to potted anyway. This frame is now into its 45th minute, the longest frame of the match. Incredible, really, because it was looking likely to be the shortest when Jones was in. Didn't quite get the extra ball required to completely kill it off. Wow.
Well, that means he's going to try and pop this, and we do advance the frame at least, because he's either going to get it or he isn't going to get the snooker on the pink, and then as soon as he doesn't, then Jack Jones is going to roll the pink in. It's going to have to be a good one, isn't it, here? I mean, it's very difficult anyway. It's a 45-minute frame, goodness. And it looked like it's going to be about 12 minutes at one point.
Stuart Bingham, 5.
Tell you what, would have been very interesting had he got tight in behind the black, and he wasn't a million miles away, then you are talking about a different ball game. Jack Jones has got to get this over a pocket, in or over, as we say. One of the left, probably the left-hand corner or the right-hand corner. Hasn't potted a ball for 35 minutes.
Groans from some members of the crowd as Jones got close to finally putting this frame to bed. Struck it pretty well, but not quite on target.
Another attempt to roll the pink in here. Full length of the table. Might use a bit of drag on this. Yeah, played low on the ball. I'm worried because there's like one big shot in there that would possibly snatch the most unlikely frame. Yeah, one big snooker attempt that he could just nail.
One thing the length of this frame has done is surely guaranteed that we're not going to get another 3 in after this. Of the scheduled 8. All of that blood, sweat and tears, ultimately for Nout. What an extraordinary frame that seemed over after 12 minutes. In the event, it's taken 50, the longest of the match. It's gone to Jack Jones. He leads 12-9. Highly unlikely now with the afternoon session due to start in just over an hour and a half's time. There'll need to be a gap, of course, in terms of getting the spectators out and the afternoon session fans in. So you would think two at the most. I guess it depends how this one pans out. Of course, the previous one looked like it could be
Stuart Bingham to break.
very swift. It turned out to be anything but. And ultimately, Bingham's efforts were in vain. And it bears repeating that Bingham's major problem on the resumption today is that he just hasn't scored. One break of 48. That's as good as it's got for him.
Well, we're being told that they won't start any more frames after 1:45 local time. So my guess is they'll get in a couple. I mean, they could get all three in, but as you say, he's opened it out based on the trend of how long the frames have been. Average frame time 24 minutes, just over. Great shot. It's kind of a weird stat on the screen there, wasn't it? It's 39 minutes since he potted a ball, and yet he's just won the last frame. That can't have happened very often.
Made that bit of cueing all the more impressive, but
Green ball.
just a safety.
Jack Jones. 1.
He's looking at these two reds, aren't they? They're not in line, and the cue ball's close to them, so it goes down as quite a difficult possible plant, I think. Oh, he's gone in, though. Difficult or not. Well, I think he's a very tough player, Jack Jones, and that's another test of his toughness. Yes, he won the last frame, but he was kept off the table to pot a ball for the best part of 40 minutes, even in winning the frame, because he...
Be careful with the wrappers, please.
Bingham ended up potting all those balls, actually, didn't he? From 2 reds onwards, and still lost it. But he has a healthy 3-frame lead, which he can now add to. While the going is good. Well, now, does anything go? Is there a gap through there to anything?
6.
There might be a gap. There might be a gap through to a red. It's really close. I think that this red goes. Through the eye of a needle, that one. Just making out that, sure, there's nothing easier, but you wouldn't believe you could get through that gap. It's only the width of a ball. I think when you're playing this shot, you've got to work out which ball is the one that could be in your way. And if you decide that if you took one of them away, would you be able to pot it? And then if you took the other one away, if the answer is you can, then it goes. I think that the possibly the ball that's in the way most is the left-hand red. If there is one. That was an extraordinary gap, wasn't it? I mean, it literally was a ball's width plus half a millimetre either side or something. How on earth did he get through there?
I'm sure Bingham is asking himself the same question. So this is a Another decent opportunity for Jones, now eyeing a 4-frame advantage. And going for his 5th in a row. He lost the first of the day.
14.
To that 46 break from Bingham, but since then, it's been all Jones.
15.
He's not looked at the left-hand red yet. Clearly he's made a
22.
mistake there. The left-hand red to middle is tough, but his way of keeping the break going. I think he might come back to it. This red on the left. Didn't play a great shot. Yeah. The shot on the black
Jones,
was not one of his
22.
best, quite honestly.
Foul and a miss. Stuart Bingham.
Big mistake. Bingham walks around to find out if he's on the red, and he'll find out that he is. And that was a wide target, and it's a gross miscalculation. That's a bad shot, though, isn't it? Goodness me. What a terrible shot from such a good player in around the black spot. He looks to me as if he's running on fumes at the moment.
And devoid of any rhythm, any touch. The previous frame was an absolute epic in the end. It's high,
Stuart Bingham.
trying to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen here, but right now, he looks to me as if it's not an easy shot on the table for him. You know, the pinky missed in the last frame, and yes, he tried his hardest on those snookers. I mean, the first red there was so unlike Bingham. And then the black again didn't reach. But it's a very inexperienced Jack Jones who's got the task of pulling away from an experienced former world champion, despite the fact that Bingham is completely on the ropes.
10 out of 12 with the rest in this match, Jones. So, another reprieve for Bingham. One or two cries have come on Stuart. He needs to find some inspiration from somewhere, which has been completely absent to this point, aside from the first frame, which he won. His highest break since then, 32.
One.
Right then, Stuart Bingham, what have you got here? What have you got? Because you're going to have to find something a bit lively. You can get through the black. Some of the gaps are unbelievable, aren't they, here? This frame. Well, I'm a believer that he will regroup if he gets enough chances to do so, because he is the most tenacious player who loves being out there. But he's going to need to, because he's hit a few bumps in the road.
9.
Can he put all those shots behind him that he mishit?
Sixteen. Seventeen. 23. 24.
I guess the fact that he's been here before and done it is going to help him. It's going to make him believe that he can be in a final. It's interesting, if you look at all of the stats of world champions, such a high percentage of world champions have also been in the world final along the way. I can think of the likes of Neil
30.
Robertson and Luca Brissell and the man in shot who don't fit that bill.
31.
But many of the others are. I suppose that's why Kyron would have a chance, because he's already experienced it. Seems to me if you can get there once, you can get there twice.
Jones turned to be frustrated because in playing out of the snooker he left the red for Bingham. That went wrong straight away, but then of course missed with the rest. Wasn't an easy one, but it's given Bingham this opportunity to finally, belatedly, make a break of
37.
substance.
$38.
The groans tell the story. Bingham deflated again.
44 touching ball.
Yeah, I mean, he could have played it differently. It's easy afterwards, isn't it, always, when you see these shots. He could have really forced the cue ball through there. I think he just tried to deftly push one red out. He's got a touching ball for his sins and for his troubles, but it's not really going to help him. Yes, he can just play directly away from the reds, but he wants to be potting balls, not engaging in more safety, because he's not really bossing the safety exchanges against the younger player, Jack Jones. Still just taking a bit of time, isn't he? Still furious about the last mistake. Not rushing into his next shot, which is a good tip, I think. So easy to play a knee-jerk reaction sort of shot of annoyance. And now we're here, he might as well just play a good one.
Stuart Bingham, 44.
.26 the lead, still
Thanks.
59 available.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Stuart just allowing Marcel Eckhart, the referee, to see the gap. There is some red available there. About an eighth of a ball, I'd say. But he hasn't hit any of it. And that's why he let Marcel have a look down the line, so that if there's a replacement,
Check
he knows
chance
where to put
four.
it. Simple as that. And how much he can see. And I think it's going back, isn't it, surely?
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing, if he plays it again and misses again, then he'll get warned, because there's a red, as you can see, in open play out there. And the 3 strikes and out rule will come in if this
Just have a look for me first.
is in operation. I think the line is absolutely right, but the ball's got to come back closer to the cushion, which makes the shot more difficult.
Shall we check?
Well, I think actually,
please
I think it's the other way around. I think it's got to go forward a little bit.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to work out which
Go ahead,
is the
Nicholas.
actual ball and which is the shadow, isn't it? And we're here in the arena, still not
Yeah.
sure.
I'm slightly that way now, just a little bit. And it's good if you agree the line from there.
Yeah, you check the line, please. Still, yeah? Yes, slowly rocking. You think you can see a little bit more? Adjust.
Yeah, you can see that it's just outside its shadow.
This is why some of these replacements are quite difficult for any
Yeah.
referee.
Check.
When you're trying to hit just the edge of a ball.
Yep, thanks.
I don't think that's quite right, is it? But anyway, we move on. It's a difficult job. I wouldn't want to do it. I think it looks bang on from there, though. He's playing the other red. Played the double kiss. It's quite good. Of course, the usual thing to say is, well, why on earth didn't he play that first time? Because I suppose there was more uncertainty in it. He thought he could clip the reds. And if this red could be doubled into the right corner here, playing up and down. No, but that's a good shot all the same.
Well, that cannon could have been a whole lot worse for Bingham in the event. He snookered the open red behind the blue. He needs a bit of help at the moment. He's really struggling with his game.
This looks good. Is it going to go around the back, or is it? Yeah, it's one of those. It looked very good. He could have ended up just leaving the cue ball on the left cushion, which would not have been the same. But, well, if Bingham ends up losing this frame, and I'm not suggesting he will, but he may not be favourite where the balls are. But given that he got in and made a few, break of 44 seems a lot in the context of what we're seeing. And the frame still goes to Jack Jones. I don't know where Bingham goes with this match because it's slipping.
Foul, miss. Jack Jones, 5.
Well, I mean,
Please, Paul.
Marcel Eckhart, he's got to put all those balls back. I think the blue was on the spot. But, you know, you're not looking at... Well, in fact, the brown and blue... No, the blue wasn't on its spot. The brown was. This is why, when snooker players retire, you never hear of a snooker player wanting to be a referee, do you? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
You know, like a former professional.
Brown was on its spot.
Well, we underestimate just how gruelling it is for the referees. We talk about the players and the 17 days and the long sessions, but of course, it's just the same for the referees.
You know, in other sports, in cricket, you get umpires that are former players. In snooker, I'm sure there's some competent players, but I've never seen a professional end up refereeing. They just don't want anything to do with it because it's
Sorry.
maybe not for them. But Marcel is one of the best in the business, in my opinion.
They also don't have the luxury of sitting down between frames, so
Please.
it's a very, very demanding role. Absolute concentration required. A privilege, of course, particularly to officiate here at the Crucible. Paul Collier will be donning the gloves for his 4th and final World Championship final from tomorrow before he takes up a directorial role at World Snooker.
Can you see it different on the screen, Paul? So.
Looks very good on here.
Yeah. Check. Thanks.
Still a long way off for Bingham.
Foul and a miss.
It was a terrific snooker. You saw Bingham tapping the
Jack
table
Jones
well in
four.
advance of the cue ball coming to rest behind the yellow.
Indeed, it was, wasn't it?
It's not going back this time, though.
Yeah, you know, I mean, strangely, there could have been an argument to put them back again there, but, you know, he's got it in his own hands. It's not a nice shot, this, because the cue ball is sort of running across the table, either into the red to the left of the pink, or quite close to the left corner as well. That was his problem. If he could have just stopped hitting the jaws, he'd have been on the black, but the natural path was always taking it close to that left pocket.
Oh, this is a test of cueing. Very awkward. working his way back into the frame here, Jones.
8.
Bingham got in initially with 44, ran out of position, dropped his head to the table. There's been quite a bit of that from Bingham today, ever since he won the first frame of the session. Things have gone askew.
9.
Oh, it's a terrific pot. 2 excellent pots from Jones at that pace into the centre pocket. Really good.
$15. $16.
Yeah, only just, but we know these pockets are tight, so they don't go in unless they're online, and it clearly was. Well, this is a huge moment in the match, isn't it? He got a brilliant snooker. Now he's got a chance to capitalise. And he's a long way away from the target of 17 frames, but Bingham, it seems, I don't know how Bingham is going to win all these frames he needs to, because right now he's struggling very badly. And I think if he lost this frame as well, as I say, it would be a big regrouping with him and his team to try and find more later.
$22.
Quite nice, a bit straighter. Would have been guaranteed. I think he can just land on the yellow anyway. Yeah. So this is the point, isn't it, where he has to just get this frame 1 here.
27.
14 in front, so needs the up and 2, and including the brown. Feels he's got an angle to get across from yellow to green. If the green was on its spot, it would be more favourable for Jack.
$29.
That is a very good shot indeed. Right hand running side, I tell you, that was pinpoint accuracy. Terrific shot, that. It's unconventional as well. It's not something you'd practice, a shot like that. It's all touch and feel. So
32.
it feels like a huge frame to me, this one. If this brown goes in, I don't know where Stuart Bingham goes in this match. He'll never give up, of course.
36.
But it's slipping away, I think, Philip.
It would appear so. Numerically, nothing special from Jones. Shades of the 40 he made that changed the narrative of this semi-final very early in the piece, 41. When he was poised to go 4-0 behind, and at the time was all at sea. He potted some superb balls to make that break. And he laid a brilliant snooker in this frame to set up this chance.
47.
A brilliantly crafted break of 47 turns the screw on Stuart Bingham, who's in big trouble right now at the moment. Dead level after 2 sessions, but then one player pulling away to a commanding lead. It happened for Kyron Wilson last night against Dave Gilbert. It's happening for Jack Jones against Stuart Bingham, who's won 5 on the bounce now from 9-8 behind. And of course, we're not all that far away from the final session of Wilson Gilbert. Our coverage getting underway at 2:15. Rachel Casey and the team with the build-up. And they'll be underway just after 2:30 with Wilson just 3 from his second world final appearance.
Well, I've just got a feeling this will be the last frame. There's meant to be 2, and unless it's a something like Tepchire new style frame that somebody wins, which it seems, well, impossible actually. In the context of this match, average frame time 24.5 minutes.
Take a seat, please.
This is likely to be the last one for me. And it's a chance for Jack Jones to really pull away because he's stronger right now, and you've got to win the frames as and when you can.
23rd frame. Jack Jones to break.
Marcel Eckhart calls the 23rd frame. He didn't say the final frame. We'll see how things unfold, but it seems likely to be. Nine hours and counting. Jack Jones's highest break of this match remains a modest 72, but he's been very effective at feeding off Stuart Bingham's mistakes, particularly in this session. But it was a superbly laid snooker that was the key to the previous frame, and then a really well-crafted break. The black was missable right off the bat from the side cushion, a brilliant red into the centre pocket at pace, and then the shot that Neil described to get on the green from the yellow. Among the highlights, Bingham finds a pot. What he hasn't been able to locate since frame 10 is a break of any real substance.
Good. Green ball. Stuart Bingham. 1.
It's another great shot. Might have left the red potable, but it was a hard snooker to hit from the way he went. Well, it wasn't a simple shot, but again, you'd have fancied him to get it. And right now, not much that he's playing. He's going right. Somehow he's got to win this frame, Bingham. He's got to pull pull a frame out from his boots, really, isn't he? I don't know how. And even that mightn't help him that much, but of course it's going to be better than losing it. Simple as that. Everything's hitting the jaws. What a chance again for Jack Jones.
Yeah.
It was a very good effort, must be said. It was very close. And that's why the Redders rolled across the table, sadly for Bingham, right over the hole.
Okay. 1.
Yes, it's very similar to the other match, isn't it? In that the third session is the real moving session. They always say in golf, don't they? The big event, moving day, is the third round. It's kind of like that here in this session.
8.
And Jack Jones is the player who can not so much see the winning line, but he's kind of in the straight, isn't he? In the home straight.
9.
He's a terrific player. You know, I know that he hasn't played as well as he can, but isn't that a mark of him? That he's scored in big numbers, but his safety and his a couple of the snookers he's laid have been horrible, especially in that last frame. Well, he's on one to middle. He might have hoped for a bit more, but at least he's taken the positive option still. It's difficult cueing this. Very easy to miss these to the top jaw. I've seen a few of these missed hit to the left as we're looking. Especially from where he's playing it from, goodness me. That's where exactly he did miss it as well. To that jaw.
Jack Jones, 16.
Safety, the predominant goal there, which is achieved. Great cue ball. Got Bingham right under the baulk cushion. Well, it has been confirmed, unsurprisingly, that this is going to be the last frame of the session.
Couldn't have hit that much better. Goodness, look where the balls have finished. It's lined up. And you do feel unlucky when that happens because he steered the cue ball back to a safe area. But of course, you've got no control over the red. So it's either a session score of 6-1 or 5-2. Either way, it's bad news for Bingham from 8-all. Worth remembering, isn't it, when this match started, of course, on Thursday, Bingham won the first 3 frames and quite honestly should have won the first 4. He missed a blue to go 42 in front with 2 reds, but the black was tied up on the cushion, so and it was a simple blue, tried to force it. Since then, he's only picked up 6 frames out of a 19 that have been played. Thoroughly outplayed. I think that is the biggest circle I've ever seen put on a screen. That does keep your options open, doesn't it? The size of a dustbin.
6.
Well, that's been one area of Bingham's game that has been perfect. 17 out of 17 now with the rest. Well, here's a chance to end what has been a very disappointing session on a high for Bingham.
12.
The 46 break he made to win the first frame of this session remains the highest since frame 10 from him.
$13.
Yes, he had a little rueful smile on his face there, didn't he? As if he was a bit disappointed to be with that angle. Slightly off straight angle he had.
$17.
Even these mid-range pots are missable when you're under the kind of pressure Bingham is at the moment.
$18.
He's just been completely bereft of any rhythm, any meaningful table time.
Well, if you took Bingham's form at the start of the championship when he was playing some really good stuff, you'd fancy him to devour this chance like this. Look where he's ended up, goodness me. Awkwardly over a ball.
25.
If he misses this, he will be more than a little bit disappointed, I think. Yeah, great shot. Nice recovery, that. So he really has to take it now that it's there. pull something out of the wreckage of a bad afternoon, morning into the afternoon session.
33. $34. 41. 42. 49. 50.
Applause for a half century for Stuart Bingham. You have to go back to the 10th frame when he led 6-4 when he made a century for the last time he made a break of that size. That's been a measure of his struggles. But he's finishing this session, it would seem, on a high.
56.
And there's still a long way to go in this match. This is the final frame, of course, of the session. Jones is still 4 frames away. That's a lot in your first world semi-final.
Got to make there's not any more twists
63.
in the story. Frame ball. He'll feel a lot better about things.
And he's taken these well. There was that awkward moment when he was bridging over a ball that could have gone wrong.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been in that position, but he was. And look, Jack Jones will be pleased with his morning's work, no question. They haven't completed all of their 8 frames. They've only got through 7.
72.
But probably now that we're here, Bingham, if he was given the choice, could have probably done with another frame. To prize a 3-frame advantage out of a very tight match like this, when Jack Jones lost the first 3 on Thursday afternoon, it suggests that he's made a good effort, I think.
79.
I think if you were in his corner, you'd say you've done brilliantly. You're in the box seat for a place in the final, but no one would be getting him to go ahead of himself because he's just getting a sort of a sharp reminder of what Bingham is capable of. He's beaten O'Sullivan in the previous round,
84.
of course.
86.
And there's another session in this match to go, and bigger deficits than this have been turned around. I immediately think of the Ken Doherty 15-9 down against the late and much missed Paul Hunter,
89.
turning it around. So this is nowhere near as big.
And this is the sort of snooker that Stuart Bingham needs to conjure when they do come back tonight. It's been completely absent until this frame. Even the one that he was able to win at the start of this session was one with a break in the 40s.
98.
But finally, he's found a bit of rhythm in the nick of time to salvage the session and stay very much in contention. And there's the century, his second of the match. He raises his fist aloft. There's some irony in that because he hasn't played well today, but he's played well in the final frame. And who knows how significant that will prove to be come the end of tonight. Could be on, could be on. Not quite. A break of 104 to end a very disappointing session on a high for the former world champion Stuart Bingham. Jack Jones has had a good morning. He's won the session 5-2, including 5 on the bounce. He's 4 away from his first world final when they come back this evening, but there's still a long way to go in this one. The Welshman Jack Jones, 13-10 up.